I was mad for a second.
Alrighty.
Alrighty.
Oh god, so
What's up, Ghost Recon?
welcome to what, huh?
Yeah, welcome. Let's go.
We're doing it. We're starting it.
Clap. You don't have
Dude,
to do
clap
that.
sync.
If there's
We
two
don't clap
different-
sync. It's fine.
Yeah, there's two different mics.
And there isn't.
But I have
So yeah,
a mic, you
welcome
have a
to
mic.
Alright,
Welcome.
do you want to keep talking, or are we gonna do an
Yeah,
introduction?
this is you could just like put this at the beginning, right? And then we can introduce ourselves. Go.
Alright, so this is episode 8, because we did record episode 7, but it didn't go out on YouTube, so this is actually episode 7 again. Episode 7, take 2. This time, hopefully with less video corruption. I disagree with that assessment.
We could, but it's probably not worth it. So unfortunately, you're not going to get it. It's fine. I'm sure you care.
I mean, you could still watch the past broadcast on Mixer. I wouldn't recommend it, because Mixer, I don't know what its like capture shenanigans are, but they're bad. So
my capture's fine.
Mine never is, and it's very sad. Sometimes
Yeah,
it's
I don't know
fine,
why.
but usually it sucks, and I think Mixer just hates me and wants me to cry.
Alright.
Should also have a timer up for how long we go. I'm gonna start a timer. You just
I have a timer up. I have a
just,
7-minute timer going.
Alright, sweet. You have a timer up? Nice. Tell me if it gets to 60 minutes.
That's a
Alright,
TV
so
show.
Yeah, it's a bad TV show. It used to be a good
Fuck.
TV show. It used to do
It's got to
good
get bounties,
journalism,
dude.
and then it didn't. Then they had that whole story about Meghan Markle that was bad, and that wasn't good journalism.
Who's
But
Meghan
yeah, so this
Markle? Is she the princess woman? Am I
Yeah,
thinking of
she's
a
the
different
princess.
Meghan?
No, that's
Cool.
the princess. She was on Suits as well.
Isn't she a deal and no deal woman?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
You're asking the wrong person.
This is not anything to do with
This is not anything even like remotely related to what we've got this week. So we're gonna do. For some reason, my notes say episode 9. That's very distracting. This is definitely not episode 9.
Yeah, we're
gonna do. So we didn't do a story last week. We didn't do an episode last week, so we're gonna do a couple of the bigger stories from last week that I think are still relevant or just kind of low-hanging fruit in one
We're gonna
case.
miss a couple of the was it BlizzCon stories? Which is
So BlizzCon is right now.
happening.
So
Yeah.
Diablo 4 gets announced at BlizzCon, and apparently they're going to announce something big in regards to Overwatch as well. Those have been the current leaks.
Yeah.
We won't be
I
covering
imagine it's
those
going to be an esport
for obvious
sort of thing,
reasons.
but
Those reasons
people
being
saying
that
Overwatch
I
2.
can't cover news before it exists. I'm not a time traveler.
we can speculate though.
I mean,
But, yeah,
the speculation
that's
is
all it'll
that
be.
there are big things coming Overwatch-wise. Maybe an Overwatch 2 and a Diablo 4 is going to get announced. I'd really like to play a Diablo game because I feel like I'd be all about it.
I mean, I'll go get Diablo 2 and we can do it next
Diablo
episode
2?
of the podcast. Free, rather. The one that's on console. Because your PC is mega fucked.
Dude, I've made so
Anyway.
many phone calls about that PC.
Like,
Like, that's been my whole
Lachlan.
life. And they oh yeah, it's the introductions. We usually do that in the outro anyway. So, I'm Sam. I'm your host. That's Lachlan. He's
We're just
also
gonna cut
the host.
the outro and chuck
Look,
that
dude,
in,
it's fine. Don't worry about it. We can
Look, I'm
we
a
can
fan.
just do whatever we want to do.
Alright. Yeah, so first news? Let's come on,
Alright.
what do you want to go for first?
Let's go with loot boxes in the UK.
Loot boxes in the UK?
Yeah,
This last week's story.
yeah. This is one of the stories from last week.
Okay. Give us the lowdown then.
So, the UK's Children's Commissioner, the Commission for Children, which is the government body that attempts to represent the interests of children within, like, legislation. I say government body, they don't actually have any power within government. Like, they can't make laws, but they can recommend things that are, like, the good times for the children.
Advisors.
They did a bunch of science. They did a study into loot boxes and how they affect kids.
Yeah.
And so they looked at where are my notes? They looked at children that play Minecraft, FIFA, COD, Fortnite, and Roblox.
Yes. And usually those games overlap, but yeah, go on.
And they had 29 kids from the ages of 16 to 10 to 16. So all children, all very young boys,
yeah,
all girls. I don't know. They didn't.
I feel like you'd like to control the variable there, but it's fine. Because like there's a.
I mean, it was more broad, just like about kids.
Yeah.
So on the positive side, the study argues that 95% of the kids in the UK play some amount of video games, and that they can have some positive connotations in developing a kid's ability to like problem solve and come up with like creative strategies for stuff.
Yes. Which is fair, because you do all sorts
Which is like, yep, that makes sense.
And all sorts of games. And...
Yeah, so it was all qualitative data, it was all interviews.
Yeah.
And they said that almost everyone they interviewed who bought a game engaged in microtransactions through that game.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Like, this is in regards to kids. Microtransactions. Yeah. And they usually spend an amount of money. And the reasoning they gave for this is actually something that kind of we don't really think about, or at least you and I probably don't think about because we're not kids. Yeah. Is that apparently there's like one of the key drivers that they talk about a lot with loot boxes and like peer pressure with like loot boxes is peer pressure. That like you don't want to be the only one in the party who still has like a default skin in Fortnite. You don't want to be the only one in your group of friends who doesn't have all the all-star players in like FIFA Ultimate Team.
Yeah, exactly. That makes sense. So if you're the only one, you're gonna buy it and
and you don't sort of they specifically said you don't want to seem poor or uncool by just having like a default skin or not having all the stuff.
Yeah. Which is fair. That's a fair reason for it. I don't know how
one of the
true that is, but
I mean,
yeah, that's...
Did you ever go to school?
I mean, yes, I did. I mean, I never bought microtransactions because other people.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like we're not only I think we didn't go to school at quite the right time.
Yeah, this is a different. That was a different era, I think.
Like,
that was just
sure, we went to school pretty recently, but we went to school before Fortnite, before loot boxes, before all this stuff really took off.
Like, at a young age, like there are people that were. I was playing video games at like 12 or 13. I wasn't really into it before that. That's kind of the.
I think the first console I ever had was a PS2, and I bought that towards the end of my life cycle. I remember paying $150 for it. I thought that was a lot of money at the time.
Whoa, that was wrong.
Man, kids, right?
Yeah. Look, it's a lot of money for a kid. That's absolutely fair.
I think my friend bought the PS3 when it was like $800.
Yeah, that's when was it?
Like
when
it was like before they introduced the revision that was like $4.99, and it was
this is
smaller
when
back when the
generation.
Back when the PS3 was like a massive like chunky console and was like $1 billion. Yeah, this is all tangential.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, one of them said, one of the 14-year-olds said he never gets anything, but he still does it anyway. Someone else said that they usually spend about £100 a year, so that's about $200 Australian. John asked me to do the US conversion. I don't know. If you care that much, Google it. That's what Google's there for.
It's probably like 300.
One of the kids specifically quoted in the research said, you feel like it's a waste of money and then you open more, which is like if anyone has ever studied like addiction, that's literally it. Like
That's
right there.
that's gambling. That's addiction. That's gambling. That's everything. So by proxy of that, it's they're trying to get rid of loot boxes. That's the end goal here, right?
We get into that. So they said some people spend upwards of £300 a year, and there's a lot of.
Can we go to the tower?
They mentioned that like sometimes they'll do it in groups, which again, that's what druggers do. They get together in groups and they do lots of drugs.
Yeah, it's
because it like feeds the addiction, yeah. And again, it's the kind of thing where like, you know, if you're in a group and all your friends are getting stuff, you feel incentivized to buy more things so that you can get all the stuff as well.
Yeah.
They also cited pressure from like YouTubers and stuff who do like unboxing videos and things like that.
Yeah, because that's just another person in the community.
Which is like, again, it's
like,
essentially the same thing, and it like that's a bad practice. If you're a YouTuber who makes unboxing videos and spends like thousands of dollars just unboxing shit, like don't do that. That's not good.
I mean, if it makes
and
you
they
money,
do it relatively. I don't care if it makes you money. It's not. That's not okay.
Yeah, you're absolutely.
You are literally promoting gambling to children. Like.
Yeah, that's the problem there. I don't know if it would work in other games. Like CS:GO had a similar thing, even though I think that was a.
That was when RDA and Pro Syndicate. I think it was Was it RDA? Basically had their.
I know it was Tom. From Syndicate, Pro Syndicate, whatever his name is. But
I'm pretty sure it was RDA because I'm pretty sure he put out like a. No, it was T-Mart. It was T-Mart. Sorry.
T-Mart.
Don't sue me for defamation.
Well, see, look, that's why I said no. I know it was stupid, and I know it was.
Yeah, sorry, RDA, you absolutely didn't do it. It was T-Martin.
But see, RDA.
And I think Syndicate never said anything about it. And again, this is tangential. That kind of stuff does kind of come up in here, but a bit later on.
What can we do?
Yeah.
To the power station. I've got a plan to take him down from
Yeah, it's kind of a different thing.
Syndicate never said anything about it, and his like YouTube career survived. T-Martin put out possibly the most depressingly god-awful apology video ever, where he basically didn't apologize for anything and said, look, if you engaged in these practices, you're an idiot, get fucked.
I mean, yeah, that's a little bit fair. Because you should have seen a scam like that coming from a mile away. But these are kids. That's... They
and like it's the kind of mentality where like they knew what they were doing. They absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, did that they were marketing this stuff to kids.
Yeah.
And they sort of very willfully ignored the fact that T-Martin was Call of Duty champion.
Oh, that's still
that's
still
like
marketable to kids, but sometimes.
Do you know specifically what T-Martin and Syndicate did?
It was a CS:GO trading.
Yeah, it was a CS:GO trading motto that they had saved and they ran the site, so they could just decide their own odds. Essentially, that was kind of what
the odds were low.
What was decided upon, that like they could absolutely just weight the odds in their favor to make it look like your odds of winning were better than what they were.
Yeah, which is I think what was that was exactly what.
Like now there's I think like T-Martin's YouTube career basically doesn't exist anymore. Like there's a whole bunch of companies he's just straight not allowed to work with. There's a whole bunch of stuff that he's not allowed to do in regards to YouTube, rightly so, because if you're gonna be that level of an ass, like. And even people like Drifter cop a lot of flack for like still doing videos with him.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, this is tangential. This does kind of come up later on, but it's kind of tangential. Yeah, so they cited that FIFA encourages you to spend money because the game's only out for a year and then it gets replaced with another FIFA title. So you want to spend money to get all the best characters as fast as you can to play with all the best characters.
Yes, which is kind of where Destiny's going at the moment. Sort of like there's going to be a lockout on the seasons,
like that's true.
It's not.
I mean, the seasonal gear isn't the best gear in the game, though. You're not just straight paying for better gear.
It's not as problematic because you're not getting the best stuff in the game every single second. Like you don't have to pay for that stuff.
You're
Just get it
paying for a gameplay loop. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
You're paying to play things like the Raid and Garden of Salvation.
Yeah.
But you can still get like Raid level like 67s from Benedict, from just handing in tokens to
Yeah.
Benedict and running like Leviathan.
With the inhibitor offline, the neural
Fun
network is
times.
going crazy. I'll try to stabilize it. Defend
Yeah.
the area.
I think that's. Wait, is that the end of the? Oh
No,
we went on a
they
massive
go on.
tangent.
They go on. There's more. So they say the commissioner stated that
I don't know.
stated that, so the commissioner stated, let's start again. The commissioner stated that because gaming is an extension of kids' offline lives, that the law should be the same across both of them. Like, if they're not allowed to be exposed to violence and gambling in the real world, why are they allowed to be exposed to it in regards to the online world? And sort of the kind of get out of jail free card that a lot of like publishers and stuff have been using is that most places, and I know especially the UK, define gambling as something that has real world value, but like the stuff like skins and stuff in Fortnite and like Ultimate Team characters and CSGO things and whatever, they don't have real world value. Now there are sites where you can convert them to real world value, but
Yeah,
those
because
sites
people
are
want to
illegal.
pay for those skins.
Yeah, but as I say,
Or-
those sites are illegal and we're not allowed to do that.
Are they illegal?
Yeah, that is, at least in the UK, it's
Allowed to
illegal. I'm
sell-
pretty sure it's
sell
illegal in the
bots.
US as well. You're not allowed to take stuff out of the game and sell it. Like, you're not allowed to sell a counter. That's a mega illegal.
Okay, I didn't know that. I don't. For the record, you do though.
So they said that the commission closed out by saying that. Do you want to shoot the thingy?
No,
Closed
no,
out by
it's a-
saying that they should potentially set spending limits on games, or alternatively, they should just turn loot boxes
Get to the core
off.
before it goes critical.
Yeah,
It's time
which
to
I
work
absolutely
something
agree
out.
with.
And I feel like most people in the industry agree with. However, according to, again, I'm pretty sure this, like the group that ran this research, I went the wrong way. No, did I go the wrong way? Loot boxes account for about 20 billion pounds worldwide. Or microtransactions in general account for about 20 billion pounds worldwide, which is again about 35, 40 billion
Kind of.
Australian
But the
dollars.
Valkyrie is ready. All right. I need
Yeah,
to
but you
throw the
gotta think
Valkyrie
that
into the
what's
core
the
and force a full meltdown.
the value that gambling brings to like
I
gambling.
mean, the point is that
just
that's a lot of money, and it's going to be
Yeah.
real difficult to convince anyone to not make $20 billion a year.
This is true. This is absolutely true. Unless you make it against the law, which is
I mean, that's the
But
kind of
then-
thing where, like,
yeah. You need to
legislators and
convince.
stuff are still beholden to the companies, right? Like, they can still, like, that money's still taxed, it's still money that's spent in the economy.
Yeah. So people, you want that to be.
Let's see what's
You want loot boxes because you need that money in the country, which is
And
problematic.
then
at
the
best.
commission said that while loot boxes themselves, like the content you get through them, don't have any real world value, they do have value to the kids using them,
Yes, which
or the
is
kids
basically
partaking in the system. So yeah, so effectively, like, nothing has come of this yet, because as I said right at the top of this, these guys don't actually have any power to change government. They can just suggest things,
Yeah, and the suggestion. is
and
to
they
get
have
rid of
suggested
loot
that you
boxes.
should get rid of loot boxes because they're bad duty.
because they're bad for children.
He's an ancient worm god.
Maybe this,
Which is
there
like,
could be
that's
rules
not
where
hard to figure
adults
out.
are allowed to do it.
He was brought here by
And then
Something like
also,
that.
again, in the EU, although Britain might not be part of the EU, but that's another topic for another time, or another topic for probably never. The Netherlands
For
banned,
pending.
the Netherlands banned loot boxes outright. And Belgium, I believe, did the same, and there were severe penalties for having loot boxes in your game, and if he doubled, it's involved. Like, we're talking like massive financial
this was a
penalties and
G-rated
possibly
game.
jail time. If there were children partaking in your game.
What happens if there were children protecting in your game, but they're playing like an MA game? What do you think? You think like that's just a
Still kids.
that's not up to
Still
yeah,
kids.
but is
It's
that
still-
up to the developers to?
I mean, if the
Figure out.
developers know, if the publishers and developers know that, and chances are
If they're
they
doing it
probably
willingly.
do. Man, Arian's Vow does kick butt.
Friggin' Xenophage kicks butt. Oh, it's
No, it
me.
doesn't. That's a lie. It absolutely does not.
Does a lot of damage.
Does it though?
Look at this. I'll one shot this guy. Hey, it didn't.
So yeah, so as I kind of alluded to before, like currently, or at the time of when I read this story, I think this is not true anymore, as we will get to later on. The current big highest selling game in the US, when I read this story, which was I'll put a date on screen because I don't speak when it was published, was NBA 2K20, which is full of loot boxes and was
It's
completely
full of
review bombed as
microtransactions.
complete garbage, but it's still moved like 20 million units.
Yes.
So people
'Cause
hate
it
loot
was an
boxes
issue.
and no one likes them, but you're still buying the
People
game,
pay
right?
for
Like,
them. Yeah.
put your money where your mouth is, kiddo.
That's the issue here. I feel like if loot boxes were not wanted, people wouldn't buy games with loot
I mean,
boxes.
I
Or
think if loot
rather,
boxes
they
didn't
wouldn't buy
make
loot
money,
boxes.
People,
Yeah.
they wouldn't exist, but they do make money, and they will continue to make money.
Yeah, for as long as there's relatively stupid people or kids.
I mean, it's not even stupid people, like, gambling makes money, and that's basically
it's
what
people
this
that
is.
are vulnerable. It's people that are.
It's people that are, and like, the story I read quoted
Ultimates.
a Chinese developer, I don't remember the name, that
When you go
basically said that they developed an algorithm that can target like whales with an 85% accuracy, and they want to try and get it up to 93. So people that are specifically vulnerable to spending big money on a game, they've developed an algorithm to find these people and specifically target them to spend a lot of money, which is like, yikes. Like, that ain't
Yeah.
it, chief.
welcome to the future. And if you're this sort of thing needs to be absolutely addressed in the future. I don't know how.
I mean, I think it will be. I think, as I say, the Netherlands and Belgium have done stuff about it. And it
Yes.
wouldn't surprise me if, at some point, the British Parliament does something. As I alluded to earlier, the British Parliament maybe has bigger things on their plate at the moment. But that's
Let's go to
not...
the tower,
Let's
please.
not go there. Are we going to the tower?
Yes. Right. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, it's that. I don't think they're gonna worry about it until
I think
either loot boxes aren't making money
until
anymore,
until
or
like
until there's
Brexit
an
has
actual
either
issue.
happened or not happened, or just whatever, that mess has been resolved.
Till it's
I don't think they're going to do
pending
much about
approval
it.
forever.
Just because, as I say, like, Brexit's probably a bigger deal to them than some dumb kids playing video games.
Yeah. Anyway, next news. I think
Alright,
that's
so-
pretty good.
Low-hanging fruit of the week.
Yes, I can't
Bethesda.
wait to shit on these people.
Oh boy. Oh boy, Bethesda. Oh dear.
Like, how do you
Oh no.
fuck this up? Like,
So-
come on, dude.
Earlier this year, Bethesda launched everyone's favorite game. Best game in the world, Fallout 76. Best game in the series, reviewed great, everyone loved it. That's not true.
This is
That's
fake
not true,
news.
even a little bit. That's legit fake news. Yeah, it was like, not only was it like badly
it was-
developed and super glitchy, but there just like wasn't a lot of game there. It was just kind of
It was
like
kind
you
of just
roam
like
around the world, you do
Fallout
stuff.
4 Lite. It was Fallout 4 Lite, but with like people that you could see every so often. No NPCs. It was a big world from what I understand. I think it was bigger than Fallout 4. I like to say. I think it was 2 times bigger. But that's don't quote me.
That's pretty big.
And there were like cool missions, but there wasn't any. And they later added events. They added a microtransaction store. People were mad about that.
Dude,
So I think
love it.
So they announced that
And
they were
then
gonna
I'm
work
pretty sure
on
I didn't see
the NPC
Bethesda's
updates.
E3 presentation, but apparently basically Todd Howard spent the entire time apologizing for how Fallout 76 was very bad.
Yeah, I don't know if he apologized as much as just said that, yeah, we fucked up. And that was the long and short of it. But, yeah, after they added microtransactions, they said that they were going to add NPCs, they're going to add new events or something like that. I don't
So
know
they talked about the Wastelander update that was due to come out this year, but has now been delayed to Q1 2020. And then in a blog post, they announced Fallout First, which is a $13 a month or $100 a year subscription
package,
which is more expensive than Game Pass, I might add.
Yes, which gives you...
And this is for one game. Game Pass gives you 100. I'm not trying to market Game Pass.
Gives you more than 100.
I think it is more than 100. I'm not trying to market Game Pass, but I'm just like...
You're trying to unmarket Fallout.
I'm trying to unmarket Fallout, although Fallout doesn't need to be unmarketed. It needs to be
it did a pretty
remarketed.
good job of figuring out on that itself.
They need to just give up and start again. Oh god.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
I feel bad.
It's so bad. So the game is still kind of broken, apparently.
Oh yeah, it's still broken. They haven't fixed. I think there's still the.
So
the
what you get for Fallout
issue?
First for your $13 a month is a private world, which is not the same as a private server, because it goes away once the person who has it logs off. It doesn't exist anymore. You got to start it up again. You get unlimited storage, which has been like a massive point of contention in like the Fallout 76 community. That like storage has been an issue basically since day one, and they said that they couldn't do it. But Bethesda says they couldn't like update it because of technical reasons. Apparently, if you give them money, technical reasons disappear.
Look, I understand that the databases probably have. Their items, by the way, are massive. Like they're absolutely insane. Like each item is like a couple of bytes. Like it's not a couple of bytes, a couple of kilobytes. It's a lot of space per item. Every single time you get one, it's not good. So
yeah, so I
that's
assume
the technical
sort of. Yeah, speaking to the technical side of things, you probably know more than I do, but I assume they can give you unlimited storage if you're paying for it, because they can mitigate the cost of running more servers, because you're paying for the server to be run.
They can mitigate the cost of the database, yeah. So they can make it bigger, they can... Yeah, it's not unlimited, but it's basically unlimited. They might have to go through a few server upgrades every so often, I imagine. Unless they have some crazy dynamic database that I have no clue how to run. But yeah, that's the issue there. But yeah, I still think the FPS running issue is still prevalent, where you can unlock your FPS and run at the speed of the Flash. Yeah, we can go now.
Yeah, so as I say, basically people are mad about it. Like that's the story here. People are understandably pretty pissed off, as Bethesda is asking you to pay money for something that isn't as good as most other things will ask you to pay money for this. And they're asking for more.
Best thing, which is
apparently a Battlefield 1 server, a Battlefield 1 private server will cost you $300 a year. But again, I would assume that that's like a full server that you can just have 75 people logged onto, and like you can do stuff with that. It's not just like so you can only have 7 people on. No, it's not. It's not the Battlefield 1 server. I don't know. I just know that it's $300 a year. And the private world can only have 7 people on it as well. And I'm pretty sure they all have to be Fallout First members. I could be wrong about that though.
That's basically like what we were talking about with peer pressure. If one of you have Fallout First, then everyone's gonna need Fallout
So yeah,
First,
people are mad about it, and also
Minecraft
charges for private servers as well. They charge $7.99 for a realm.
Yes.
which is again still cheaper than Fallout, and also you can run your own private Minecraft server. You can't do it on console, but you can on PC.
Yes.
If you know
and
what
it's
you
free.
do. And it's free.
Well, relatively free. Not good, but it works. So like, people mad. It's a similar thing for Ark as well. I think the pricing is similar.
Mad because it's insane. Like it's just, we made a bad game, now pay us lots of money for it. We made a bad $60 game, now give us more money for the same bad $60 game.
Not even to fix it, just to play it. Like what? Like that's the problem here. Like it's not like a,
yeah. So apparently,
we'll fix all your issues. This is a.
So even with like the private servers and the storage, apparently it's glitchy and they don't work great either. So there's that.
Oh, so people already have this? I didn't know this
people already have it. You can already do it. In fact, the apparent for some bloody reason, Bethesda didn't buy the URL falloutfirst.com, so some other guy did, and basically just made like a satirical site that's like this fucking dumb, and you're all stupid.
I'm looking at it right now.
I'll put a link to the site in the description because it's
like they
pretty
download
comical.
more RAM.
It wouldn't surprise me if Bethesda does buy it at some point. However, I don't. Maybe not. Given.
Maybe you
Google
shouldn't. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't put that in. We gave you we told you the link. YouTube probably will absolutely take this video down if you.
Why? What's
just
wrong
the
with
amount?
that
Like
to the side?
There's a lot of swear words. There's nothing like too bad. I don't think.
I'm gonna go to it. Hang on one second.
But yeah, everybody should follow along. Private worlds.
So the only sales data I could find.
The microtransaction points, though.
Oh,
you get a bunch of
microtransaction points. Love it, dude.
Which I mean, at least it's something, but that means a constant stream of new content needs to be added to Fallout 76. That's the thing that you were expecting, right? Every month.
Falloutfirst.com.
Like at least Destiny can be like, oh, every 3 months, I can add a new piece of content to the game.
Was it just falloutfirst.com? Like Fallout First?
Yeah, Fallout First. Yeah.
Like
it's
first as in the word?
Yeah, the word. Not one SD, it's FIRST.
.com, falloutfirst.com. Am I gonna spell this right? Ever since Fallout, you've consistently done nothing. Oh no. Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Sextant.
Look, Bethesda, you dug your own hole, dude. Are you done? Can we get back to all of it?
Yeah.
Can we get back to
I've been done.
Are you right? Are you still you
go.
lagging? You lagging, dude, I'm sorry.
I'm not lagging.
Yeah, like so as I said, the only sales data I could find
for a 36% discount. Oh man. Oh man, he actually gave a link to how to become a Fallout First member.
Oh, what a
got rickrolled.
Oh no.
Oh,
yeah, so the only sales data I could find was it sold 1.4 million digitals in its first week, I believe, which for like a big AAA game, that's not good. Like that's real not good.
Yeah, we're still talking about Fallout, right? I'm like crying. I'm sorry. Yeah. I got rickrolled.
Literally in tears because of how bad Fallout is.
It's so fun. But I feel bad for literally everyone involved. Man, I don't know who came up with the idea.
I absolutely don't.
There's someone at the top or some developer. I don't know if I should feel bad for the developers. I don't know if I should feel bad for the people.
Look, I feel a little bad for like the developers and the PR people, but like, come on, like, just don't make the game.
Manage this is like just make Skyrim, alright? Just skip Fallout. No one wants to play that game.
Just make
anymore.
Skyrim too. Make them plus Bethesda.
See, the problem is
we want to love you, Bethesda, but please. You're making it real hard.
See, now they have to be committed to 12 months of Fallout 76. That's the issue here, because there's a 12-month subscription.
That's what they want. That's what they want. They want you to play every day for 12 months. It's perfect.
Yeah, but if one person buys that game should already have been like destroyed. It should have already been burnt. They should have just given up because it just wasn't worth it.
All the man's on it. Yikes.
Okay.
Everyone exploded.
Whoa, wait.
Yeah, they all like spawned in on top of each other. They do that sometimes.
This song guy has a chart and pictures. You know what? One time, I get it all. Jeez, forget it. You know what?
Alright, so on to another set of low-hanging fruit. Star Citizen turned 7 this week, and still doesn't exist.
Last week. This is the last week.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah.
But I think it was late last week. It celebrated its 7th anniversary, and still
doesn't exist.
It does kind of exist. There are like modules and stuff you can play through, and I think the
But that's not a game. That's not a $60 game. That's not the game that people.
No. It's not a $60 game. Absolutely not. No, that's not true.
That's a demo.
And I think the it's split into two different projects: the single player game and the MMO. And the MMO does have a beta that you can play if you're like committed and you've like paid money. But I think its functionality is limited.
7 years ago. I don't understand why it's like. It was an interesting concept. That's probably the only reason. That's all I need to know. But like,
look, it looked like a great game, and if it ever comes out, I'll buy it. If it comes out, it's good. I'll buy it.
Yeah, if it comes out,
not going to come out, and it's probably not going to be. Oh, what the?
Scanner show reinforcements coming.
Did you see that?
What?
Oh no! What? What am I?
Harvester exposed an active fuel cell.
What?
Maybe
I don't know.
What?
I just,
What's your problem?
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
The fallen catch?
The catch that's in the world, that's Phantom.
Oh, okay. It's not in the world for me. It's in the sky.
Oh, it's in the Cabal ship. It landed inside the Cabal ship and then took off again from the Cabal ship. It's pretty interesting. Yeah. So
Hopefully your stuff fucked.
the last metric I saw is that Star Citizen got about 100. Sorry, scratch that. That's very not the truth. It got about 238 million in backing just like from users, and then another 40 million in backing from private investors.
Shit.
Which is
Those private investors are going to be mega. They're so mad that game is not returning.
The game is not a game and probably never will be a game. And they do apparently have a beta for their single player mode that's called Squadron 42 or Squad 42, I think I have written here. That'll come out next year, assumably, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, Destiny is becoming like Destiny's filling that void that Star Citizen was like going to take over, right?
I don't know. I feel like
kind of
if
a
you want to
similar
play
game.
Star Citizen, just play like what's the game called? Elite Dangerous. I feel like Elite Dangerous is basically just Star Citizen, except maybe slightly worse, but at least it actually exists.
Yeah, at least it's a thing that
What now?
it's hanging out with the rest of the video games in the video game store. That's probably not going to exist for much longer anyway. It's not time to be EV games. It's not time to be GameStop.
Oh no! I got yeeted. I got yeeted in my
Time to be
ski.
Dick Smith. Oh wait.
That guy's still got loads of money. Dick Smith. His store just doesn't.
Yeah, but just like Dick Smith Electronics.
Not just flame turrets. I'm talking really.
Remember that elevator?
Yeah, I think there was some outlet that put out
They need to stay
like a
focused.
big sort of not exactly expose because everyone knew that it was probably not good,
Okay. Well, there are many.
but they did put out a piece on like sort of the troubled development of Star Citizen, and they argued that apparently the company that's making it, Cloud Imperium Games, have less than like 10 million in the bank at current.
What? How does that happen? 10 million just came from the dudes, didn't it? From private investors, not even from the
Not
Kickstarter.
like that's over the entire lifetime of their Kickstarter and like their own GoFundMe stuff that they ran from their own site. And
It
I
cost
think a
way
while
less
ago
than
as well.
10 million to make a game.
Thanks for that image.
It depends what kind of game you're making.
Yes, but even like a demo, that should already be it should already exist. Like, that's the issue here. Like, I know it's supposed to be-
I'm not going to debate that.
Yeah.
It should
But it
definitely
should
already
already
exist.
Oh, sad doggos.
And yeah, I think not recently, but sort of as part of the Star Citizen saga, it may have even been like a few years ago at this point, given how old the game is. They changed their returns policy so that basically you can't ever get your money back once you've given it to them.
I mean, that's fair. I imagine a bunch of people see the game, they think it's cool, they buy it, and then they're like, oh wait, this game hasn't come
And
out for the
apparently
last
one
7
guy
years.
did sue them for the matter of $1,400 for not like paid them $1,400 for a game that they didn't deliver on, and the courts were like, nah, sauce.
Yeah, 'cause it's, he didn't pay for the game, he paid technically
Paid for the idea of
owning
the game.
Yeah, for the privilege of
He
owning the
paid
game
for
after
maybe
it
one day
exists.
owning the game,
Yeah.
and maybe one day he will own the game. You never know, dude.
Yeah, maybe that day he will be actually happy. Well, like, at some point, like, the people that like, backed that game 7 years ago, they might not even be playing video games anymore. They might have moved on. with
They
their
might be
lives.
dead.
It's like, yeah, like, it's... 7 years is a long time.
7 years is the entire time that I've known you, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. 7 years ago, we met each other and Star Citizen was born. But it wasn't born.
And now we're adults producing content on the internet, and Star Citizen still isn't a game. Dude,
Yeah,
I'm
Star
gonna
Citizen
retire
still
and
doesn't
Star
exist.
Citizen still won't be a game.
Oh, damn. I'm gonna finish all of my schooling before Star Citizen becomes a game. And that's actually true. Like, that's not even a...
Dude, I absolutely believe I will retire before Star Citizen becomes a game.
It's a problem. Anyway, let's move on to more recent news, because I feel like that's...
Yeah, so those were
That's
all
important.
older stories. There are a couple of newer stories we have. The only ones I have notes on specifically are Call of Duty and Kotaku. So Call of Duty's back. Call of Duty is back.
Yes.
It's back in the biggest of ways. It's back in the ways that matter.
Smart to not have a backup plan.
So it's
Well, we haven't
reviewed
played it yet.
pretty
we
well.
might get it, to be honest.
Here we go.
I fucking did. It's reviewed pretty well. As I say, I haven't played it. I think IGN gave it a 6 point, no, not 6.2, an 8.2. They gave it story an 8.2 rather, and said it's like the best campaign it's had in decades. Well, that was easy. And that's basically the sentiment around its campaign, that it's pretty good, or it's the best that Call of Duty's done in a while. And
Yeah,
sales-wise,
which is fair.
Activision is boasting that it
Sounds like I
has
returned
it's the
just
best-selling game of
fine.
2019, bar none. So when I said the other game, the NBA 2K20 was the best-selling game of 2019, that was when it came out, and now Call of Duty Modern Warfare has taken that spot, and it sold 600 million in its first 5 days.
Yeah, that might, to be honest, I think that might just be luck with the marketing
Well,
there,
potentially.
'cause
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that, because there are some interesting figures regarding its sales.
Right.
So yeah, as I said, IGN gave the story specifically an 8.2 because they split up their reviews from story and multiplayer because they consider them like two different products.
Yeah,
Essentially,
they're two
I assume.
different things.
I don't know what its current rank is on Metacritic. It might not have enough thingies out. Let's have a look. Call of Duty
Call of Duties.
Modern Warfare Metacritic. PlayStation 4, it currently has... Ooh, yikes. It has an 82, and its user rating is a 3.3. What? 82.
Yeah, that's
basically, every outlet gave it sort of 80-ish. US Gamer gave it a 60.
So it was the story.
It has 4,344 negative reviews. Modern Warfare steps it up. And those are user reviews as well. Like, not reviewer reviews. Guns, movement, action,
It's been reviewed by the Russian military highway of death.
Oh. I was
This was
surprised
5
that
days
anyone
ago.
actually ever did that. That anyone actually cared. Yeah, so I guess that's kind of we'll get into that.
Well,
First, I want to talk about sales numbers because I think there are some interesting things to dissect sales numbers wise.
Yes, absolutely.
Modern Warfare ends up feeling like it has the foundation for something better than it is right now, and in the months to come, it may very well be this. That was the most critical review by US Gamer. Everything else was like, it's good, it's great, it does really well. 83, 88, 90.
It's a Call of Duty game. It doesn't.
Despite some thematic concerns, yada yada yada.
We're approaching the
So as I said, it's biggest launch in Activision, biggest digital launch in Activision's history, which is like nadir. As people trend more and more towards digital sales, that number's just going to keep going up forever. So that's not exactly no news there. I think Black Ops 4 was the biggest launch digitally previously.
Yeah, they didn't put
they're
a
like
battle royale in Modern Warfare, did they?
nope.
Interesting.
I mean, I don't think the battle royale craze is over. I just think I don't know. Maybe they just
Maybe they're just gonna focus on Black
Looking for one of the
Ops,
Queen's techians.
Blackout mode.
I mean, Blackout's done. Like, Treyarch aren't making
Her
that
name
anymore.
is
They're done with it.
Satya.
They put out their
She was
final
taken,
update for it
but she can
this
be
season, and
saved.
I don't think they're going to cater to it anymore. They might, next year, they might put out a revision to it, potentially,
You must spare
because they're
her.
making the
Oh,
next
they-
one, as much as I think that's insanity.
Yeah, because they're making
So-
the 2 next ones, aren't they?
So it's the biggest premium game of the year, so biggest $60 game of the year. So apparently there are games that don't cost anything that have sold better, which is like, no shit, because they're free.
This is 60 US, just by the way, like always.
60
Yeah,
US, I
it's
don't even
bigger.
know how much it is in Australian. It's probably like 100
It's 100.
plus season pass, plus
All about
DLC. And there
it.
are no loot boxes at current. I don't think there's any DLC planned. I think they have like a battle pass kind of system going on. So
Oh, yeah, I
interestingly
don't know
enough,
about that.
Black Ops 4 did 500 million in 3 days, as which is the same as World War II. They both did 500 million in 3 days,
Oh, interesting.
but they didn't go on to sell very well post, as we are about to discover. So.
Yeah.
Black Ops 4 sold 14.3 million, which is like anything under the 20 million mark for Call of Duty is no bueno, and that's very far under the 20 million mark. World War
And
II
Black
sold
Ops
19.82 million
Disappointing.
in its lifetime. I mean, Black Ops reviewed really well though.
Yeah, it usually does. Well, what? Throw the ball.
And the height of the series was Modern Warfare 3, which sold 30 million copies in its lifetime.
Heads up.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
So it'll be
Modern
interesting to
Warfare's
see how
great.
well this does in its lifetime, given that it hasn't done as well as Black Ops 4 and Modern Warfare 2 did, and they didn't do as well overall, but it does have a very positive buzz around it. And as I
Is this
say,
taking off, throw me the ball?
mostly reviewed well.
Like, dude, throw me the ball. What?
Maybe he doesn't know how to throw balls. Maybe
Sam,
he doesn't.
Sam,
he's
throw
not a
the
ball
ball.
dealer.
Come here. Sam, come
Give me
here.
the ball. Give me the ball. Yeah. Let's do it. Alright. walk into me. Okay, that's fine.
The bad guy is this way. The Billie Eilish is over here.
Billie Eilish. Is that what comedy is now? Just using the name Billie Eilish? Woo! Give me a thing.
Thanks.
Whoops. Don't die. Thanks. That was not great. Yeah, so the Russian Highway of Death thingy. So as I say, I haven't played the game, so I don't know specifically how this is referenced in the game. But one of the characters calls out a real-life highway that actually exists as the Russian Highway of Death because the Russians bombed it and killed a whole bunch of civilians there. Which actually, IRL, the US did.
Yeah. That's
and
that's
people
the
are
issue here.
noticeably mad about it.
Yeah, because you're blaming a different culture for something that you do. Surely, it's in the game, but that's
I mean, when you're using
might take
a
that as
real-life
history.
highway and real-life
Yeah.
event, I think that's kind of part of my issue with Call of Duty, like what I've read about Call of Duty Modern Warfare, is that sort of it plays with the idea of like maybe we're not all good, but then just kind of goes, no, we're absolutely the good guys and these guys are absolutely the bad guys. You know, it doesn't do a sort of a full Spec Ops The Line kind of breakdown of like what war is and that war's bad and that maybe even the US soldiers involved in war aren't very good people.
yeah.
Which it sort of did tout itself as doing. Like it was like, it's gonna be hardcore and gritty and real, even though it's kind of not really. It's just kind of a Call of Duty game that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's just an arcade Call of Duty game. I don't know if it's good. Based on what
It's
I've heard,
reviewed well.
it's
Based on
okay,
reviews, it
but
seems
yeah.
pretty good. Ow, shit.
I might have to play it. We have a friend that could probably talk more about it, to be honest. But, yeah,
How long have we been
I
going so
don't know
far?
how good it got.
What's our timer at?
Yeah,
50. Alright, sweet.
or
Gives
less.
us a little bit of wiggle room for this last couple of stories. So, the next sort of, I consider this to be a pretty big story. Other people might not, given like, I don't know how involved you are with the video game world. But Kotaku is going through some problems.
Yeah, I don't know what kotaku makes, so it doesn't really.
They're a journalism outlet that do video games.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They don't make games.
That's
They're
I'm
Jason
thinking
Schreier.
of, I'm thinking of THQ, which I think is also dead.
THQ, I don't think exists anymore. I think THQ Nordic exists, but THQ like proper is gone. They don't exist.
Everyone else did.
And they made Darksiders, and Darksiders 3 was bad.
After I finished Darksiders 2.
Dude, after I finish Darksiders 2, after I finish Destiny, after I finish Borderlands, I'll
Then
get to
we can think
Darksiders
about
3. Destiny
You have
is the
to buy
gift that keeps
Bioshock,
on
dude.
giving, honestly. I do want to finish Bioshock. Fuck me, dude. There's not enough hours in my life to play all the video games. Woe is me. There are too many good video games to play.
Look,
How
just
will I ever do
drop
this?
out. Just drop out of uni.
Just drop out of uni and don't do anything other than
Yeah,
play
just-
video games.
Yeah,
Dude,
just-
even then, I
just
still
play.
don't feel like there's enough hours in the day for me to get all the stuff I want to do in Destiny done, and then still be able to play Bioshock and Borderlands. Borderlands is running a Halloween event that I've not even loaded Borderlands since Shadowkeep came out.
Yeah, and I really want to go and play
And
it.
I like Borderlands. This is good times.
There's a lot to do in Destiny though. Like
Ow.
the dungeon just came out.
All right,
the
yeah.
Festival
So
of the
this
Lost.
controversy started when so backtracking a little bit actually. So
Yes, Kotaku. We're
Kotaku were
talking about
part of
Kotaku.
a Gizmode, who went broke and were bought out by I forget the name of the company. I don't remember it off the top of my head. But they were then bought out. But they then sold them to a private equity firm called Great Hill Partners. And
I'll believe that.
they partnered with them with another outlet to form Geo Media.
I think I've heard of them.
And then the other outlet got in trouble with their private equity firm, Daddies, for publishing. They mainly do sports news, but they published a piece that was like kind of political. And the guy who published it got fired, and they were like, "Yo, stick to sports," Which is like I get it,
Yeah.
but also like no, like that's okay,
Isn't there
not
certain
okay.
things that you need to like you're a journalist student, so isn't there certain things that you need to acquire before you can do a story on politics? Like don't
No.
you?
I could do a story
No?
on politics.
Okay. But like in a professional setting.
No, anyone can do a story on politics.
All right.
It's freedom of the press, dude. You can run whatever story you want on anything ever.
Remember, we're here to save her.
That's okay.
Yeah. So then the name of the outlet's escaping me, but then they run a whole bunch of stories that weren't about sports. They were about they ran one about like the 5 bestest boys in the world, like dogs.
Interesting.
Just to basically like get back at their like business daddies and be like, yo, fuck off. And on the Kotaku side of things, they started look, I think it's a bold move, dude. You gotta stand up for your rights, yeah. And then, as I say, on the Kotaku side of things, they started playing they introduced autoplay ads that were they were like loud and they were intrusive and you couldn't like pause them or anything, and they like had sound and they were just not good.
Yeah.
And private equity firms do generally have
Watch yourself.
a kind of like in business terms, basically like they like to bleed things dry.
Okay.
Which is noticeably not great to be owned by by an institution that has notoriety for just like pumping out as much content from you as it possibly can until you die, essentially, and then just moving on to the next.
Yeah,
and they don't really care about anything other than the bottom line.
That's kind of how it goes, though. Money talks.
Yeah, so one of the editors at Kotaku put out a statement saying, like, we don't like these autoplay ads either. Here is where you can go to complain about them, like the and they linked to like the PR for the private equity firm, private equity firm, which they noticeably didn't like, so they deleted the post. And then there were a lot of people from Kotaku were tweeting about like, you know, I don't know what happens next. Jason Schreier said, it's been a pleasure to work with all of you, but I don't know what happens next, which sounds a lot like you're about to get fired. And then
Yeah, sounds like this is the
editor-in-chief tweeted out that like he's taking Kotaku through some hard times, and it seems like more are ahead. And basically, like they haven't specifically said what has happened or what is going to happen, but it sounds like Great Hill Partners are gonna. There will be like some backlash from this, and they will probably fire people, which is like, that's not good.
Yeah, especially, I mean, it's a bottom line sort of thing, but it's also an issue.
I mean,
with...
like, if it was entirely, editor and content creator related, like if it was entirely just between Kotaku and Great Hill Partners, I would get it. But it's also like the community behind Kotaku, like the people who read their articles don't like this either. Like they don't like.
Which means that you're not going to make that people aren't going to view the ads.
And it is like it's just generally like a massive infringement on like media and what media is about, and like by extension, like the press.
Yeah.
Like in an ideal world, the press should never have to run ads on anything ever, because it does. Fundamentally, it does sort of break down the like shenanigans around objectivity if you have someone paying you to do something. And Kotaku does cop a lot of flack for their like editorials and like op-eds that they write and stuff, but they do generally, because sometimes they're not particularly well written and they're kind of like overly opinionated, but like that's kind of the point of an op-ed. You know, it's supposed to be opinionated, that's why it's called an op-ed.
Exactly. I don't know that, but
and like just generally their style of writing is a bit leaves a bit to be desired. But for the most part, they do pretty good reporting.
Yeah, I don't follow Kotaku. I don't follow any journalist news sites or at all. So yeah, you know what? Oh, yeah, that's pretty handy.
Oh, you found a merciless, nice.
That's pretty good.
Oh, this guy's Petra. Look at him. He's dancing. He's a Vexy Petchery boy.
Did I wish?
What are we looking at time-wise? Because we do have more stories that we can go into.
66 minutes. We
This
could
week.
probably do another story. We could probably cut out
Alright.
a lot of the bench at the beginning, to be honest.
I don't know, dude. I mean, we should have a long episode. We didn't do an episode last week or the week before, so
Yeah, this
a
is,
long
this is
episode
gonna be
it's not an issue.
the longest episode. Overwatch
Talk about that.
2. That's kind of the story that I want to talk about. I don't know if there's another more important.
I mean, go
stories.
ahead. I don't think I've read up on this as much as I would like to. So go ahead. So you.
Which one are the others? What's the other story that you read up on? The Ubisoft one?
The Ubisoft one and Mario Kart Tour being bad.
I mean, yeah, those are kind of like one-word answers, sort of things. Like we can just touch on them. So yeah, Mario
Yeah,
Kart
alright, so,
sucks.
Mario Kart Tour came out, which is essentially like Mario Kart but for your phone. Its fastest races are locked behind a paywall, which is already bad, as Nintendo did previously state that they didn't want to do that they wanted to charge, like in regards to mobile games, they wanted to charge like a premium up front, and that was it.
Exactly.
Like that's what they did with Mario Run. But apparently Mario Run didn't make a grand amount of money, like it didn't sell enough to like warrant the cost of doing it, so they've currently changed their practice to basically just be the same as any other mobile game. And apparently 150cc's races were locked behind a paywall. I don't remember how much the paywall was. I might put an annotation in.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Now?
It was probably not too expensive, but it's still like, is it like stop, please?
Yeah, and apparently it just wasn't good either. Like,
Yeah. Which is
And,
unfortunate.
Ghost Recon Breakpoint is bad and sold really badly and basically ruined.
I think
all
it
of
was a good
Ubisoft's
game. I
plans
think
for the
people
year.
liked it.
I don't think it was a good game. I don't think it reviewed very well at all.
All right.
We can look at it. Hang on, let me look it up on Metacritic.
Up the reviews. Imagine it. I imagine it did okay because it's a Ubisoft game, right? So it should do pretty fine.
I mean, just because it's Ubisoft doesn't mean it's not going to be garbage. Alright, reviews for Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Oh dear. Oh no. So it has
What?
a 55 by Metascore by critics, and it has a 2.6 user score.
Okay, so they fucked up somewhere along the way.
So, big yikes. This guy gave it a 90. It's an
guy's
exciting
pretty
game.
happy.
It knows what it wants to do and gives players options, makes them feel unshackled by design decisions. It wants to make them feel yada yada yada. But above everything that's fun.
Repeated incursions have caused
Tries to renew the Wildlands formula by introducing new elements that tries to deliver.
I never get tired of paying them back for the tower.
It's a solid shooter with a happy tone of loot elevated by John for the. So that was the 70. Ambitious game, very yeah. It's still worth playing, but probably has. Yeah, it's broken. No one likes it. It's very bad, basically. Twinfinite. Like I gave it a 20. I really wanted to like Breakpoint. Ubisoft has a habit of making mediocre games. Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs. I don't think Watch Dogs or Assassin's Creed are mediocre. I think the next Watch Dogs looks fucking sick.
Yeah,
I think
feel
it
like
basically stole the show at E3.
Yeah, I think Ubisoft knows what it's.
Oh no,
wants
hang on.
to
So
do.
Ubisoft has a habit of making mediocre games that really shine with a sequel. So that's what he's saying. Sorry,
Yeah,
I didn't read
so
the
he's
full quote.
expecting.
So-
he's expecting.
I would agree with that sentiment that Assassin's Creed
The
1 was
Breakpoint
maybe not
kind
great,
of-
and Assassin's Creed 2 was really good. Same with Watch Dogs. But this is a significant.
Breakpoint is
no.
kind of a sequel
Oh
to,
no! Oh no! I would rather play Anthem. At least its traversal doesn't make me want to put my head through a window. Oh no!
Feels bad.
I would
man.
rather
Feels
play
bad to be-
Anthem! Yikes, dude. Yikes.
Dude,
That is
At least
not
you
it,
don't want to
Chief.
rather. At least I'd rather play Anthem than Fallout 76.
This guy gave
Like,
it
in
a
all
1, this guy
honesty.
gave it a 0. Completely garbage factory, 0, 0, 0. Man, people are nuts. Yeah, it did not review well and people do not like it.
Yeah. it's a bit of an
And
issue.
it basically like
Just-
blew out their bottom line for the whole year because they don't really have any other big releases in this financial year.
No, they don't.
Like,
do
they got They got a little bit more stuff coming out for Division, and they've got assumably another Assassin's Creed game next year. I think maybe question mark.
Yeah, I imagine.
Did we get an Assassin's Creed game this year?
After Destiny 2 kind of did a turnaround.
I think the Division
Player-based.
is keep on keeping on. I think it's chugging along at a happy pace.
We played it a couple of weeks ago. But yeah,
I mean, it's a fun game. It is. It's just Destiny has so much content, and I'm like already invested
So
in
much
Destiny.
Showing up on the tracker. Good to see you.
It's just, it's too much. Bungie, please make your game not good. Yeah?
Yeah, we don't need
You
it.
just make your game
Streamers need it.
slightly less worse, slightly less good, and with marginally less content. That would be great, because then I could play other games.
Yeah, because this is the problem right now. And I imagine a lot of people have finished all the content. Most
So,
of the streamers have no
Yves
life.
Guillemot, the head of Ubisoft, was very, like, Ubisoft about his statement that, like, we under-delivered and, like, whoops, essentially. Like, we made a game that wasn't very good. And I think, recently Ubisoft has announced plans to continue supporting Breakpoint and attempt to make it a less bad game. Which is, that's a very Ubisoft mentality, that's what they do.
Yes, service. Games as a service rather than as a one-time purchase.
I mean, I was
Just
more speaking
well-
for the fact that, like, Ubisoft they do occasionally deliver not very good games, but they
Segura, I've been
they
usually
recognize the
try to fix
value of
them.
IP, so they will usually spend the time and the money to build them into something
Some like
better.
modeling, maybe.
Like, as that guy said in his review, that they usually shine with the sequel. Because the first is usually like a proof of concept,
Ubisoft
like sort of
usually
is
don't disappoint that.
is there a game? Is there a game here? Yes. All right. Sweet. Now let's actually put some polish into this bad boy.
I still like to see what Skull and Bones is all about, but that game doesn't seem to be coming out for a couple of years yet.
I don't think they had a game. I think they had a concept, and I think it was a good concept. I don't think they knew what that game was yet.
Yeah, so I think it was 2020, late 2020 they said, or 2021. Or,
Yeah, potentially. I think we'll probably
Skull
see
and
more
Bones.
about it at E3 next year.
but yeah, I think that's enough for talking just about Ubisoft and Ghost Recon. But yeah,
Harry really
Hopefully
liked Ghost Recon. Shows what
yeah,
Harry's taste in games
I don't know
is.
if he really like Recon. I think he was
No,
enjoying
he
it.
liked Breakpoint. I didn't. I didn't right from the jump. I thought this game looked unfun, and I was right.
From the trailers. Yeah, but he bought it, and he's not playing it right now. He was playing Modern Warfare earlier, though, so... Yeah, but... Yeah, Breakpoint, interesting game.
Look,
more
I
interesting.
love me some Ubisoft. I truly do. I think they're probably
They
the best
usually are
company
one of
currently
the better-
working today. I think they make. I think they're very consumer friendly, consumer focused, and I think they put in time to make quality stuff.
Yeah, like, Odyssey
I think
was...
they had a couple of years there with a few
absolutely
missteps
the
where they
best.
made some stuff that was maybe subpar, like Unity at the first Watch Dogs.
Syndicate.
But I think
Syndicate was
since
a better
then
version of
they've
Unity.
they've put in a lot of time to make some really quality stuff.
Yeah. As opposed to...
You know, i.e. Watch Dogs 2, Watch Dogs 3. Watch Dogs 3, as I say, I think I'm sure it like basically stole the show at E3. Because it looks like it has a really
I
interesting
think
concept
that
behind it.
Ubisoft might outlive all the developers yet. Other than Activision, of course. Because, you know...
Because Call of Duty's back on top, dude. That bad boy will print money till the cows come home.
Right, one more last story. Last story
And-
this week.
What was the last story? It was,
Basically, the Blizzard is
the
screwed.
Blizzard suck,
Which is Activision,
and
but look,
big yikes
apparently,
to Blizzard.
I know we just said that they'll be fine, but they're not. They're not really. They have like one game coming out this year, and that was Call of Duty, from what I understand. Just like them as the publisher of Blizzard.
Publisher of
And
Activision.
Diablo 4, like, because it's BlizzCon right now.
Yeah, it's BlizzCon right now, so there will potentially be more about this story next week. Because
Yeah, but there's a lot
sure
of leaks
BlizzCon
and
is
rumors.
right now. pretty sure it was November 1st. Is usually BlizzCon, and it is currently BlizzCon right now. Well, it's November 1st in the US, right? That's how that works.
No, it's November the 31st. They're
Oh
a whole
man,
month
they're
ahead.
like they're a month ahead.
Yeah. They already
Crazy,
finished
dude.
all their exams. They're already in winter, dude. The whole 2 seasons
No.
behind us.
What? That's just how the rotation of the Earth works, bud.
That's actually true. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so
yeah, people are saying because of the rumors
Yeah, I
that
think-
Overwatch exists, Overwatch 2 is going to be announced maybe. Diablo 4 might be announced because people were mad that it wasn't. Even that might not convince people to go buy their games.
I can't tell these
Or might not
People still
convince
mad
them to
about
buy
Hong
them
Kong.
quickly enough.
What's the difference?
Yes,
Mech
and
simulations can kill.
people are also just
These copies have the same goal as their counterparts. Find a future
People
where
just mad at
wins the
Blizzard.
Red War.
just because of the last time they announced anything. Was that last year? That was a long.
that was last year.
It feels like yesterday.
You guys all have phones.
When they, yeah, you can't do that to a consumer. You can't say that you're an idiot to a consumer. You can talk behind their back, which is absolutely okay. But you can't go to your consumer and say, hey, you guys are idiots, right? Because then your consumers aren't going to buy them.
Yeah,
So
people
I
are pretty
don't
mad
know.
about
Yeah, I don't know if Blizzard will be able to. I mean, they have a lot of money, so they'll probably make it back. And they also
We'll
had
see,
WoW.
right?
And it
We'll
was doing pretty
see
well, right? It was
next
was
week. I
Blizzard's
think
WoW
WoW's
still, right?
Yeah. They make WoW.
Yeah, so WoW Classic is doing relatively well. So, like, I don't know. It's an issue. It's like, and I think that's everything.
Yeah, I think that's basically it for this week. Like,
Yeah,
so this
Destiny
episode
is
probably
cool.
won't come out
Wait for it.
until Monday. Just because I have a 101 assignments to do,
And 101
and I
down.
still don't have my editing PC back, dude. We're about to bake this idiot.
Activated their security grid.
This is easy.
Relax.
You suck.
It worked out fine
I
first
stood
time.
in the lasers, I'm sorry. This guy's gonna res me, I'm gonna get killed again 'cause I'm still standing in the lasers.
Do I have to put in the middle? That's a bit wacky.
Yeah, we do. We still have to kill everything going through this track.
It's funny.
They've
Yeah,
activated
so,
their
YouTube stream wise, we'll probably finish off this strike, and then that'll be it for this week. But thank you for tuning in,
Welcome
and,
to the podcast. My name's Lachlan.
are we doing
And
this?
you can edit this in. You can put this in at the beginning.
Dude, I'm not doing that. That's not happening. It's over. It won't
Or
be
you
fast.
can edit the introduction
Cyrus would
into
send
the
his
end.
thanks, but he's
That'd be
already
fun.
knee-deep in another simulation.
Why would I do that?
Switch
We know the way
switch them.
Try not
I
to
don't know.
launch any more
Look.
cabal into existence.
Yeah, so thanks for listening. That's all we got for this week. As always, I'm your host. My
And
name's
I'm
Sam. You can find me
your
on Twitter at SamDurkus.
co-host.
It'll be in the description as always, and that's my co-host. I think I put your Twitter
I'm
in the
not really-
description last time.
I'm not your.
You have a Twitter, right?
co-host. No, I don't.
I think
I
think
gave
last
you
week you
someone
said you
else's
had a
Twitter.
Twitter. Why? Why would you do that?
It's fine. It's fine. But that's probably linked in someone's video now, so if you really want to follow that guy, just do that. And that's everything.
So that's gonna be it for this week. We will see you next week, where we will absolutely be on time, and it will be good times because we're both on holiday.
I might be on a
Yeah,
plane.
we are. But are you on holiday next week?
Yeah, I'm on holiday after Wednesdays. Every Wednesday.
All right. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. It's been the longest outro ever.
I
But,
know. I think we
bye.
Let's go. Let's do it again. Let's bring it back up. And
No, done. It's over. I'm killing the stream. It's done. It's done.